stem from? This all stems from HJR 192. And here's the phrase, shall be discharged upon payment, dollar for dollar, in any coin or currency which at the time of payment is legal tender for all public and private debts. What was legal tender for all debts, public and private, in 1933? Gold was. The government confiscated all your gold, they sent it to China, so they had to give you, that was payment or discharge upon presentment. They discharged all of your debt. Future, this is future. You can't take somebody's money away and not give them compensation. So they compensated you by prepaying all of your debts, dollar for dollar. This has been going on since 1933, and nobody understands it because they keep trying to pay debts that are prepaid because people don't understand the OID process. So I'm going to go over this, and I keep going over this because this is at the crux of everybody's problem. I don't care if you're in a criminal case, you're in a civil case, it's a tax case. And if you don't understand what a tax is, you don't understand what's going on. Everybody I talk to says, oh yeah, I understand what a tax is. And I start asking them questions and they can't answer it. That means they don't understand what taxes are. It's not a tax until you do an assessment. You have to assess the tax. Why do you have to assess the tax? Because you own the credit that the government's using. You are the owner of the credit. You are the creditor in fact. That's why the government, every time they use your credit, has to give you an OID identifying you as the payor and themselves as the recipient of the funds. Everybody understand that? You can't get much simpler than that. Go read the OID. Go read the OID. Publication. Go read publication 1212. I haven't met one person in the Patriot community that's ever read publication 1212. I'm going to take you in there and explain it to you so that everybody can understand it. You've got to understand that your law, everybody's looking for a remedy. You can't get a remedy until you understand what's going on. That's why God invented me. I'm going to explain to you. I've been studying this stuff for 50 years. And I'm going to prove to you right now what's going on. And then I'm going to document it. We're going to go down to page 6. Go to page 6. Nobody has read this publication. Nobody. N-O-B-O-D-Y. Nobody reads this publication. This tells you what is going on. There's one paragraph in this document that gives you the whole key to the whole redemption process. And I'm going to show you what it is. And nobody knows this even exists. Go down to the bottom of page 6. Go down to the bottom.
That's page 6.
Yeah, let's see. Maybe it's, let's see. I thought it was page 6. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Download publication 1212 off the IRS website. Follow along with me and you'll learn what's going on. Nominee. This is what's going on. What are they doing? They're doing a nominee for the true owner, which is you. If you are the holder of an OID, original issue discount debt instrument, and you receive a Form 1099 OID that shows your taxpayer identification number and includes amounts belonging to another person, you are considered a nominee. Well, what are those amounts belonging to another person? That's the amount of the bills that all of these corporations are sending you every month for the use of your credit. And they're reporting it on a tax statement. They're using your credit. And they're doing it as a nominee for you because they're using your credit. You must file another form 1099 OID for each actual owner. You are the owner. You are the payor on the 1099 OID because they're using your credit. And they send you a bill to notice you that that's the amount of your credit that they are using. Now, that doesn't become a tax until you assess it. And the way that you assess it is you have to file a 1040 tax form, and a 1099 OID, and a 1096, and a 1040B. And you do a pay to the order of. Who do you pay it to? You pay it to the U.S. Department of Treasury. Why? Because the U.S. Department of Treasury is handling the bookkeeping. And unless you report it as a return or a tax, they can't do the bookkeeping on it. That's why the Treasury's books are all screwed up. Their payables and their receivables are out of balance. Payables are what they owe to you, and they can't pay you because you haven't filed the proper paperwork to get the refund on the credit that you're giving away to everybody. You can't get much simpler than that.
So after 3 years, somebody else comes in and grabs that.
Yeah, so what they're doing, because it's abandoned property, because you never claimed it, so they do it. They do this nominee. They do it in your name. And they use your taxpayer identification number. And they do a 1099-A showing it as abandoned property because you never claimed it. It's like taking a $100,000 suitcase full of $100,000 bills and throwing it down on the sidewalk. Whoever claims it owns it. If you think this isn't what's going on, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. This is exactly what they're doing. If you are a holder of an OID instrument that shows your taxpayer, that's why you ask them for their taxpayer identification number, because that way you can identify them as.
Yes, Patrick, we just saw the new OIDs you downloaded.
Yeah, I'll go over that in the call.
Okay, good.
Any other initial questions there before we start in?
I do have some questions about some of the other things, but I think maybe they would work better.
Go ahead and bring it up, okay?
Okay. Well, I was looking at the Confederate Bank Bill of Exchange.
Confederation Bank.
I do think
Articles of Confederation Bank.
Articles of Confederation, right. And yeah. I presume that the memo field is just like the check memo field. Do you state what the thing is for?
Yeah, but we're coming in basically under the Articles of Confederation, okay? See, this is the fallacy that everybody out here has been operating with, okay? They think that they have to utilize the Constitution. The Constitution's only for the chartered corporation. The Constitution is not for us, the living. We are for the Declaration of Independence and for the Articles of Confederation. Those are two treaties with man and corporations, or man over the underlines, okay?
Okay.
That you make your declaration, and then basically you set out your treaty, and those are treaty laws. The Constitution is nothing but a charter for a civil government that was out here. And then in 1871, they brought in this postal government. And I posted a document up on that about the incorporation. But at that same year, that's when they brought the postal system into this country.
Yes.
And started bringing in the postal savings monetary system of exchange, the debt money system of usury.
Someone's got their speakerphones up. Turn off your speakerphones, please, or mute yourself with *6.
Hey, Patrick.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up something. Can you go into, just briefly, since you're talking about the postal, it came out on the news about it said that Postal Service was going to start offering some kind of banking, I guess it was. I don't know the exact story.
The whole thing about that is, they're going to basically start allowing you to do more banking things through the postal system inside the bank. That is not the de jure banking system. That is the postal banking system. Okay? It's no damn good. It's just another means until you get out of the system, okay? Until you realize who you really are. And then the third person you have is basically your court, and that would be your clerk of court of equity. And equity is just out here. It's just exchangement, just barter. That's why they cannot have a court of equity, a corporation. They can never give true equity or true justice. You're the only one that can give true justice. They can give civil justice, but that, in a lot of cases, never fully compensates for all the harm that has been caused. So true justice is never fully accomplished in a civil court.
So there is no court of equity except us?
No, Tom, you didn't hear me. We are the court of equity.
Yes, except
there
us,
is
right.
no court of equity out there. We are the court of equity.
Yes, okay. That's what I meant.
Yes, there is a court of equity, and it's us.
Right, okay.
Okay? And that's why they had to give that back to the people. They falsely tried to claim it from us with the Constitution. They wrote it into the Constitution, and then they had to write it out of the Constitution per the 11th Amendment. But see, people don't see everything, and they're running off half-cocked, trying to go after the Constitution and the statutes at large and enacted laws and all this other garbage. Hey, you're not under that. Okay? You can't go into their courts because if you read that other document that I just posted up there about the incorporation of 1871 for the United States, it says in there that basically a fiction has to be on the same level in a suit. So if you're the living individual, you can't deal with a fiction. You can't enter the world of the dead. You can't go and talk to Grandma Alice, okay? She's dead and gone.
Patrick?
Yeah.
I think it might help other people to understand what you really truly meant by the 11th Amendment and the unalienable rights that the Declaration had supported, that the United States or the corporation had no jurisdiction or authority over equity. Could you make a comment for everybody, because they've been talking about this?
Well, that's what is in that document that I posted the other day. Okay, it clearly states in there, but it also states in numerous other places out here, and we are a banker. Okay, we're the only ones that can give real asset value to anything. Okay,
right.
I don't need to go over this. Basically, bring out the damn dictionaries and read the damn definitions. Okay? Stop going to all those damn codes and everything else and all the bar attorneys' law dictionaries and go try and find a real dictionary that may tell you the truth. It's in the book of Ruth. It's in the Bible, numerous places throughout the Bible there. But see, you don't want to believe that the Bible is not a religious book. It's a book of banking, of just exchangement.
Wow.
Now, I put up 2 new documents up there. Okay, we went to the post office, okay, with the items, or not the post office, but to the IRS in Philadelphia. Should have heard a response back within 2 to 3 hours, okay, for what I faxed into them. Didn't hear anything. So I said, wait a minute, there's something we're missing. Well, I went and looked that night, and what I saw that we were missing was in that International Bill of Exchange document was a banker's acceptance. And we were doing the bills of exchange about 5 years ago. So basically everything that I've done for the last 5 years basically has all been, we haven't done anything wrong, okay? That's why they can't come after us in any of our instruments that we've submitted out there, because they're all valid. The only fallacy that we had was that we needed to have a banker's acceptance on our bills of exchange. Well, you can take it down to your local bank and see if they will put a banker's acceptance on it. More than likely, they're not going to, because most of them don't know this, okay? They just started up Joe Blow's bank 10 years ago or so, okay? So they have no understanding about what is going on with H.R. 192. We have to take our bill of exchange from either our trader or our barterer, okay? He is bartering an exchange or trading an exchange. And then we have to take it to our bank executive officer, or one of the executive officers, and one of our executive officers is our cashier, our chief cashier. So we do a countersigning or a banker's acceptance with our bank chief cashier. And then to put the icing on the cake, we do a voucher, a banker / court voucher / warrant. And all warrants have to come from the clerk of the court. So we are a court of equity giving justice out here. We're the only ones that can give true justice. The Supreme Court can't give true justice. The Court of Equity or the Court of Claims, they can't give true justice. Only we can give true justice. In a gentleman's exchange, to where every party is fully satisfied and happy. And that's where you operate in the world of right and wrong.
Peace and love, royal family. It's your boy Malik Kilam, also known as Don Kilam. And as always, prosperity is your birthright. My apologies. Prosperity is your birthright, man. I'm about to get started with this 1099 OID educational class. Make sure you leave a donation at Thedonkilam on the Cash App. That's THEDONKILAM. $100 donation with your email address in the memo box and hashtag 1099. All right, now make sure you get access to the class or the replay in the 1099 OID book. Much peace and love. And remember, prosperity is always your birthright. This is for educational and informational purposes only.